What's up, everybody? Hope all is well. I have a full fragrance review, and we're going to be talking about a new release for the year 2025. And this fragrance is from the house of Emporio Armani, and the one that we're going to be talking about is one of their Middle Eastern exclusive fragrances, and we got Stronger With You Sandalwood. So what you can expect in the video today, we're going to be hopping a little bit more into the presentation, not focusing on it too much, but I want to touch on it. And then we're going to be going from opening to dry down. I'm going to focus solely in the opening of the fragrance. And then after that, we will combine the mid and the dry down because those two are pretty linear. Also going to be touching on performance, wearability, projection, and also when to wear this fragrance here. And basically also too comparing and contrasting it to a few other fragrances in the line. I'll give you all a little sneak peek of one that we are going to be touching on today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that jazz. It means a lot, really helps out. And make sure to keep it locked because we're going to be talking more Stronger With You right after this. Let's go ahead and look more at that presentation of the fragrance here. So here you got more of the box, exclusive edition, Stronger With You. And then like all of the boxes, they kind of have this gold ribbon, I guess you could say, or lining on it. And then in the back, you got some words. And then at the bottom, you got basically the recycle and Giorgio Armani here. And then, last but not least, this is an eau de parfum, just so you all know. Let's go ahead and rip it out of the box here. And at the top, it's got the little Emporio Armani symbol. I don't know if y'all can see that, but enough of that jazz. Alrighty, let's go for the bottle toss. 3, 2, 1. Couldn't catch it with one hand this time, got it with two. Shame on me, shame on me. So let's get rid of the box here. Here's the bottle, green and gold, like it, nice, all that jazz. And then you got a sticker at the bottom. The cap does click into place, and you got to be very, very certain with the cap clicking into place with these bottles because, look, I can't click it in. It's got to be in that right place, and I can click it in. So go ahead, and let's waste some sprays for you all on camera. Give two big sprays here. So let's go ahead and do that. Alrighty, let's go ahead and talk more about the opening of this scent here. So with that Stronger With You Sandalwood opening, this is going to be like every other designer opening I feel like I've smelled last year and this year. Very punchy. It's really going to come out the blocks and be potent, okay? So be aware of that. And I've been giving this a few wears, like I'm even wearing it today. I got the dry down on my arm here in my hand. Just sprayed the opening for y'all, so I'm smelling it, and I will be honest to you, I'm not going to lie to you. I am redoing this video, so this room is filled with this scent here, and it is very, very strong in that opening. That is crazy. It's kind of nuclear getting to that point, kind of almost giving me a headache. So for you heavy sprayers, you got to watch out for that in the opening. Now, more about the notes and the chords in that opening, you are going to get, of course, that sandalwood. I also get another form of woods, which is cedar. I get that, but it's more that sandalwood in the opening for me personally. But I am also getting some other nuances. I'm getting a little bit of a warm spice, getting as well some flower type of feel, and that is from lavender. I'm getting some lavender, and I'm getting a sweet vanilla in that opening, and then the chestnut is coming through, and it's a little bit less of that kind of burning chestnut. I'm getting more of that sweet chestnut. So basically, the best way I can describe this opening is if you were kind of by a market, you were in the woods, but there was somewhere close, like maybe there were some buildings close and there was a market going on, or basically you could smell the food in the air and all that type of stuff. And they were cooking something sweet that involved chestnuts or anything like that, and you were walking through this woods, I would say, kind of smelling that in the air, getting wafts of it. That's what this kind of reminded me of, is walking through that woods, getting some sweetness from some type of nuttiness that people are cooking. Maybe it's next to basically you're walking through the woods and it's by a place that makes nuts. I don't know. I'm just trying to kind of paint the picture. That's what this reminds me of. And then also in the woods, you do have some lavender going on below you. So you see that. And comparing and contrasting this opening to some other fragrances in the line, I get some similarities with Stronger With You Oud. And I will say that's just because of how the wood comes off. These are two different type of woody profiles, but they do have that same feel in the opening, just with different uses of notes. And then also too, in that opening, take out the booziness, and I get some Stronger With You absolutely in the opening compared to Sandalwood here overall. And it is very nice, very appealing, and I will say the opening, if I had to kind of relate it into a projection and performance standpoints, it kind of closely relates Oud, I would say, in the sense how punchy it is coming off of there. And I will say the wood essence is going to be more of a, what's the best fragrance I can think of off the top of my head? I would say PDM's Hautane. That's how the wood is going to come across in this opening. And I enjoy it. It's kind of a woodiness with sweetness combining, and it is well blended to kind of paint that picture of you basically got some sweetness coming from the air somewhere, got the woods and got the lavender below you. And this also can remind me of a market. So walking in a farmer's market or anything, you got all those different type of smells, and there's woods and there's sweetness coming across, because maybe there are people cooking some fresh chestnuts over there and they're putting them in the bags. That's what this can remind you of as well in that opening. But I will say this opening is very dominant with sweetness compared. I would say the woods and the sweetness are dominant in this here, and you do get the spice a little bit behind the sweetness and the woodiness overall. And the vanilla, I bring this up about it because it is very sweet in that opening, but when I hop into the mid and dry down, explain a little bit more how that vanilla transitions. And this opening does transition from that part to the mid and the dry down, and the mid and dry down pretty linear. So overall, if you want something that's very punchy but a more of a woody opening take on that Stronger With You DNA, you might want to check out Stronger With You. But I will say for me and my skin, the opening has only lasted about an hour, and it's been about 2 to 3 feet. That's been pretty well. But let's go ahead and talk more about that mid and that dry down of this scent. With that mid and that dry down of Stronger With You Sandalwood, I will say this is going to get very close to the skin. I would say, unless I'm going nose blind, I might be going nose blind with this. I am getting about 1 to 2 feet of projection, so I don't have to fully, and I've had this on for almost 8 hours, so that longevity is good. I think it, if I remember right, of my full wearings on my full days that I have, this has gone around 10 to possibly 11 hours of longevity, but very close skin scent after that first hour to second hour. Now, again, I might be going nose blind, but I am getting very strong comparisons in the mid and the dry down to Stronger With You Amber on the performance side of things, and even how this fragrance comes across. I do get a little bit of that amber essence in this. And overall, I will say with Stronger With You Sandalwood, this does change. I mentioned that vanilla being sweet. This comes off more of a powdery vanilla. And then basically that chestnut is not going to be as sweet. I'm not really smelling that chestnut as much. I am still getting a little bit of the nuttiness. It's in the background. I'm still getting a little bit of the lavender. It's in the background. But I'm getting more balsamic feels with this scent here. And it's giving me a little bit of Stronger With You Amber and then Stronger With You Oud in that mid and that dry down. And when I talk about the mid and the dry down here, basically in the base it's got cedarwood and it's got sandalwood. I get more of that cedarwood in the mid and the dry down. In the opening I get more of the sandalwood, so it's kind of a weird take there. And then with this scent, you get more of a powdery essence with it, with the vanilla, like I mentioned, but also too with the woods. And when I mean by the woods, when this scent dries down and is in that mid and that opening, you're getting something like you're in a wood shop and you're getting the wood shop chippings or whatever you want to call it in the air, kind of being sawed and all that type of stuff. That's what this really put me in the mindset of, basically in that far dry down of the fragrance. Now, you're not completely deprived of sweetness. You are getting a little bit of that, but the woods are going to take over, I will say. And for that reason, it kind of took me by surprise. I was like, oh, am I wearing... I kind of forgot for a second I was wearing a Stronger With You. And the best way I can say this is it kind of goes into a little bit less of PDM's Hautane and goes more in line with these two. So in that opening, I was getting a little sweet facets of that scent, but it wasn't like crazy. So the PDM Hautane and this one are completely different fragrances. I just get sprinkles of both. But I will say, throughout this whole fragrance here, if you combined these three scents here, these two, and then this one here, Oud, you take bits and pieces, put them all together, and then you basically put sandalwood in there, that's what you're going to get. With this scent, it's not going to be mind-blowing. It's not going to change up how the Stronger With You line does in the Middle Eastern style of fragrance. And you do still get the spiciness, the warm spices comes across, but it's just like they took bits and pieces of a lot of the other fragrances in the line, and they're like, hey, let's amp up the woods and let's make the woods a main player. And I mean, that makes sense, duh. That's what it's called, Stronger With You Sandalwood. So if you're looking for a scent that is very woodsy and you kind of want to smell like a wood shop, I guess, in the mid and the dry down, then this might be something to definitely look at. It is a pleasing scent. I will say, in that opening, in that dry down and the mid, if you did like that Stronger With You amber take, less strong, less potent, at least off my skin, then this one might be one to check out. But just remember, it's got a very punchy opening. Seasons, I would say, to wear this scent overall, not summer. This would be too heavy for summer. I would say fall, winter, early spring, and possibly maybe even late spring. That is with the caveat, if it's like 50 to 60 degrees out during that time, then yeah, you might get away with rocking this pretty well. I will say any age group, this is going to be an excellent fragrance for. I feel like the younger guys are going to like the sweetness with this scent, and then the older guys are going to like that mid and that dry down a little bit more with the woody essence, with the balsamic feel with it as well. And overall, this is a decent flanker in the line. It's not my favorite. I gravitate towards more of, in the Middle Eastern lines, Oud and Tobacco. I like those a lot. But from the main line, it's going to be plain simple for me. Stronger With You, absolutely. Let me know in the comments down below which one is your favorites from the Stronger With You main line and the Stronger With You Middle Eastern line. If you've tried those, be very curious to hear everybody's thoughts and opinions on both of the lines, I guess you could say, overall. But yeah, everybody, that's all I have for you with Stronger With You Sandalwood. I did forget to mention, this would be one I feel like would be a day or a nighttime scent. You could wear it. I forgot to mention this. You could wear it either or. And then also, too, this would be a scent that I feel like any occasion you could rock this and it would do good. It would do a very good job, and just dial back your sprays, know where you're going, and this would do excellent for you. And if you're looking for something that's very, very woodsy, very sweet in that opening, and then dries down the straight woods, this one might be worth a sample. Make sure to try that out, see if you can get it anywhere, because currently in the U.S., you can only get it in a gray market, okay? I forgot to mention all that stuff, just wanted to touch on that. But I appreciate everybody sticking throughout this whole review with me. It means a lot. Make sure that you all stay positive, be true, stay healthy, and I'll see you all in the next video.